Whether your goal is increasing motivation, helping with focus, or even boosting testosterone levels, nootropics can make a massive difference for your productivity and overall health. And I'm going to share with you the top 13 nootropics that you may want to consider implementing this year. These are fortunately nootropics that you can actually use every single day, but we're also going to talk about the different cycling strategies, what the benefits are, the side effects you may want to know about, as well as my personal rating from a scale of 1 to 10 for each of these nootropics. And they're in no specific order, starting with the first nootropic supplement, which is alpha GPC, and research backs the benefits of alpha GPC not only mentally but also physically. I personally like that it helps with my verbal fluency. I find myself to be more fast on my feet. I also notice alpha GPC helps with my motivation. It boosts focus. Some users find that using alpha GPC pre-workout helps with their athletic performance. Some users find that taking alpha GPC prior to something that's cognitively demanding, such as a stressful meeting or even a workout, does help them perform at a better level. And so the serving size that I personally use with alpha GPC is taking 150 milligrams twice per day. It's not stimulating, so I think it is okay to take in the later portion of the day. And this is a very versatile supplement, so it goes well with other nootropics. It's commonly found in different combinations. It's actually one of the most popular ingredients you'll see in various nootropic blends out there. Side effects that you may want to be mindful of are being in a worse mood or causing brain fog. And I personally rate alpha GPC an 8.5 out of 10 because it's not extremely strong, but that also gives me the peace of mind knowing that this could be somewhat safe to take every single day. The second nootropic supplement is called Tonat Ali, and this is the strongest natural testosterone boosting product you're going to find out there, and it has plenty of research supporting its benefits when it comes to physical strength, 1 rep max. There's even research suggesting that it may help you cognitively, and I like the fact that when I use Tonat Ali, I just feel more aggressive, I feel more courageous, I feel more confident. I get all of those feelings which may be associated to having higher testosterone levels. And when I first started using this compound, I couldn't believe that a natural testosterone boosting product actually worked, and it was the 2% urocominenes from Nootropics Depot, which I personally had the best experience with. So you definitely want to make sure that your Tonat Ali is high quality, and I've talked more about the different forms of Tonat Ali and how to take it in this video over here. But the major warning around Tonat Ali is you should be consuming it with a meal, otherwise you're setting yourself up for side effects like nausea or even feeling like you're going to vomit. And a serving size as small as 200 milligrams taken once per day is more than enough, and you're definitely going to notice Tonat Ali if you consider yourself to be an individual with maybe lower to medium levels of testosterone. And I'd personally rate Tonat Ali a 7 out of 10. I think it's great when it comes to increasing levels of testosterone, but I see it as somewhat overrated when it comes to the cognitive aspects of Tonat Ali. The third nootropic supplement is lion's mane mushroom, which will help to decrease levels of stress, but it also will make you more curious. It'll make you more inquisitive. You'll suddenly find yourself being very excited about new experiences. I remember when I first started taking lion's mane mushroom, I was more likely to interact with people that I typically wouldn't, and I just found myself not worrying as much about things. I wasn't as attached to the outcome, and as a result, I found myself carrying more confidence. And so when I stopped using lion's mane mushroom, it occurred to me then, like, wow, life is just better when I'm using lion's mane mushroom. And for that reason, I take it every single day at a serving size of 500 milligrams twice per day. I also like the form from Nootropics Depot. It's the 8-to-1 dual extract. Although the other forms of lion's mane mushroom or the other extracts like the 1-to-1, they have been effective for me, and side effects are minimally reported with lion's mane mushroom. Just the main thing is you might not notice it working. It's a very subtle compound, and I would rate lion's mane mushroom a 7.5 out of 10. If anything, the only downside is that I've been using it for so many years that maybe I don't notice the same benefits as I did from the first experiences taking it. The fourth nootropic supplement is called Methyl Blue, and this is actually a dye which has become very popular over the past couple of years, specifically for its benefit in providing a better sense of well-being. And that's because consuming Methyl Blue increases levels of circulating serotonin, meaning that you're going to experience more happiness during the day. It's also going to help you keep a stable mood throughout the day, improve your sleep quality, and even reduce your appetite to some extent. We don't have too much research backing the effectiveness of Methyl Blue, but I have really found that if anything, it has improved my sleep quality, which I've talked about more in this video over here. And I won't say what serving size is best. I would just say go with the smallest dose possible where you notice the results with. And I would rate Methyl Blue a 6 out of 10 because it increases serotonin, but we don't know how healthy that can be for us long term. Also, of course, it is concerning the fact that when you consume Methyl Blue, your urine will turn blue 4 hours following consumption. The next nootropic supplement is l-tyrosine, which will effectively boost focus, boost motivation. What l-tyrosine does is increase levels of dopamine within the brain, meaning that you're going to be carrying across just a lot more ambition following consumption. L-tyrosine doesn't last that long. It'll last for a couple of hours. So what you want to do is use L-tyrosine prior to your workouts. That's where L-tyrosine has a lot of research backing its benefits, not only with athletic performance, but also with fat loss. Or you want to use L-tyrosine when you need a bit of focus, when you need some energy. Let's say it's the later portion of the day and you have a few hours of work left to do, but you don't want to use caffeine because caffeine is going to stimulate you too much and going to hurt your sleep quality. That's that's a perfect scenario in which using something like l-tyrosine will help you to finish those last few hours of work and really grind it out. And the serving sizes are really all over the place with l-tyrosine, but what I found works best is using a serving size of 500 to 750 milligrams if I'm using it for the cognitive benefits. But if I'm using l-tyrosine pre-workout, then I would use it at a serving size of 1 gram to 1.5 grams. The side effects reported with l-tyrosine consumption are anxiousness as well as headaches. I personally found the anxiety isn't that bad compared to some other compounds, and I would rate l-tyrosine a 9 out of 10. The next nootropic supplement is ashwagandha, also known as the king of herbs, and what ashwagandha effectively does is reduce levels of stress. You may not notice the benefits with ashwagandha straight away. It has a very long half-life, so research shows that it's best taken actually twice per day. I prefer serving sizes of 300 to 500 milligrams taken twice per day, and you'll notice if you stay consistent with the use of ashwagandha, after about a week's time, you're waking up happier, you don't carry as much stress. But that also comes with a side effect that ashwagandha for many individuals actually decreases motivation to some extent, so that's something you want to be a bit mindful of. I've talked more about the side effects of ashwagandha in this video over here, and I would rate ashwagandha a 6 out of 10 because while I do really enjoy taking it and like what it does for my sleep quality and my stress, I don't take it all the time, and I use it depending on what's going on with my life and whether or not I need it. The next nootropic supplement is l-theanine, which is the amino acid that's found in green tea, and it helps with calmness. It also reduces stress similar to how ashwagandha does, but it actually makes your brain work in a very different way. It provides you with more peace. Some users actually find when they use L-theanine, they feel more creative. I personally don't like that L-theanine is very inconsistent. Like sometimes I'll use it, I'll feel great, and sometimes I'll use L-theanine and experience brain fog and just not even remember what I need to be doing. Serving sizes of 100 to 200 milligrams are most common, and where L-theanine is very effective is combining it with caffeine, because then you can experience the energetic benefits of caffeine, and you can also experience the decreased levels of anxiety thanks to L-theanine. And I'd personally rate L-theanine a 4 out of 10. Like I barely use L-theanine unless it's in a pre-workout product or a nootropic blend that I'm consuming, but the research behind L-theanine is fascinating. It looks like an extremely healthy compound, and so that's the reason why I haven't given up on L-theanine just yet. The next nootropic supplement is bacopaminary, and I wish I found this supplement earlier because it really improves my memory. It's probably the most effective supplement at improving your memory from my experience, and if I had taken bacopaminary as a student, I think I would have had better grades back then. It also does help to relieve stress to some extent. Like I'm very sensitive to bacopa, so when I consume it, I feel clear-minded. I'm able to refocus on whatever tasks I have at hand, and so I find it gives me like an extra couple hours of productivity each day, and when you combine that with the benefit that it's also improving your memory, makes it an absolute game changer for me. And so I'm using bacopaminary twice per day at a serving size of 300 to 500 milligrams. It's slightly stimulating, so you wouldn't want to use it too close to bed, and side effects often reported with bacopaminary include demotivation, but I would rate bacopaminary an 8 out of 10. The next nootropic supplement is called piracetam, and this is not a naturally occurring compound, which makes a lot of people actually avoid piracetam, but I like the fact that it's somewhat subtle. You'll notice when you're consistently using piracetam that you're more motivated, you have more energy, your sleep is a little bit deeper, you have more discipline. And I didn't really notice piracetam working at first, but when I stopped using it, I noticed like, wow, my recall is not as strong, I'm not memorizing things as well, and I'm definitely not working as hard as I was prior. And so I'm using it at a serving size of 1 gram twice a day. It's really important that you also accompany your piracetam with a choline supplement like alpha GPC or like CDP choline, and do it in a consistent fashion, because you probably won't notice the benefits for a week, maybe even 2 weeks of consumption. And I've been using piracetam for 7, maybe 10 years, and I haven't noticed any side effects, so I'm not that concerned about the long-term risks, and I would rate it a 7 out of 10. The next nootropic supplement is called Rhodiola rosea, and I describe it to be a nap in a pill, because when you consume Rhodiola rosea, you immediately feel like you've just taken a nap. You're mentally refreshed, your appetite drops a little bit, you have more physical energy, and you'll also be in a more resourceful state because like all your cognitive faculties are working to the best extent. And where most people go wrong with Rhodiola rosea consumption is using it first thing in the morning, because there's just no point. You don't need to be mentally refreshed because your sleep has hopefully given you that, unless you're sleep deprived. So the best thing you can do is use your Rhodiola rosea later on during the day at a serving size of 300 to 500 milligrams. I like using it once in the early afternoon and then again in the later afternoon. And Rhodiola rosea is a supplement that I would rate 10 out of 10 because it's pretty much free of side effects. I don't feel like I'm demotivated when I use it. I just feel like at the end of the day, I still feel as sharp as I was at the beginning of the day. The next nootropic supplement is creatine, and most people, of course, associate creatine with improving your body composition and helping to build muscle. But more recently, creatine is actually being looked at as a cognitive enhancing supplement because the mechanism of action is such that it increases energy levels, it helps with stress resilience. It may also help you cognitively if you're sleep deprived. So in those situations when I sleep under 7 hours per day, I'm using about 10 grams of creatine monohydrate. Although most days I'm taking 5 grams of creatine. I also enjoy cycling off creatine, although not in too much of a structured fashion. Like maybe for 1 to 2 months during the summer when I want to look as lean and dry as possible, I would reduce or eliminate my creatine consumption, because the side effect is that you may look a little bit bloated when you're using creatine. Now, does creatine really help you that much cognitively? It's debatable. For me, I think it's a bit overrated in that aspect, but the research looks very positive, so I'm going to give it a shot. But I would rate creatine a 6 out of 10. The next nootropic supplement is alpha yohimbine, also known as raucine, which is a common ingredient in pre-workout products. It helps to increase energy levels, but I really like that alpha yohimbine helps to provide this euphoria, and that euphoria is sometimes just enough for you to take action and have more confidence during the process. Although the major issue around alpha yohimbine and yohimbine is that the side effects are just so severe, from increasing your blood pressure, from increasing your heart rate. Like I take very small serving sizes. I would use 250 to 500 micrograms of alpha yohimbine prior to my weightlifting workouts. I wouldn't use alpha yohimbine prior to my cardio, because again, it increases your heart rate, and increasing your heart rate that much is not going to be safe for you. And this compound will be especially effective in a fasted state. But if you haven't already tried different caffeine serving sizes, or you haven't tried different stimulants, that I would completely avoid alpha yohimbine. I just like that it gives me a different stimulation than I can find from the other compounds. From a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate alpha yohimbine a 7 out of 10. And the next nootropic supplement is Shodan, which is a specific extract of ashwagandha, which provides incredible benefits at relieving levels of stress and also helping with sleep quality. Ashwagandha has been one of the compounds amongst our earlier list, but Shodan deserves special recognition because it's extremely potent, very strong. I take a serving size of 120 milligrams prior to going to bed, and I notice that I'm experiencing a far more restful sleep, a deep sleep, waking up rejuvenated. Also, from measuring my sleep analytics, I'm able to get more REM sleep and more deep sleep. That's what the research says it's supposed to do. And Shodan really hasn't gotten the attention that it deserves, but this really is like a replacement for melatonin. Like it's that strong, but of course it can't be compared to your typical forms of ashwagandha, because Shodan really shouldn't be taken during the day, because Shodan is going to remove your stress, but it's also going to remove your energy, which makes it pretty much only appropriate to take before bed. And I would rate Shodan ashwagandha an 8.5 out of 10. And there's a lot of nootropics that I would actually make sure to eliminate this year. I've talked more about them in this video over here. Make sure to subscribe to support the channel. If you want to chat, you can message me on Patreon, and of course visit our Discord server. And I can't wait to respond to your comment below, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.